Alright, hi everybody, it's me, Bonkai922, here to do a chapter review. Speaking of chapter reviews, for later this week, I will be doing a manga review. This is going to be the final thoughts, my first and final thoughts on Naruto as a manga. On the manga, not the anime, the manga. Final thoughts on it completely after the final chapter gets released and I read. So I look forward to that. But that's that, and along with Bleach and I guess One Piece. And that's this. Nanatsu Taizai. These double chapters, yeah, 2 chapters came out. Now this one too. The first one was really just like the first one that came out 101. Well, 102 came out first, and 101. But a little talk about 101. Chapter 101, Power of Love. This is pretty much just a conclusion from the fight. There were, I thought it was it was just the after things. They're rebuilding the town, the city, the kingdom, and everything. And, we got King and Diane. There's some emotions going in there. And we also find out about Elizabeth. We also find out something very interesting in this chapter. We find, I think it was in 101 or 102, but I find out from Merlin that it was one of the parts, I believe it was called the coffin of something. It disappeared. One of the parts that Hendrickson collected in order to resurrect the Demon Clan disappeared. It was carried off by something. And Merlin basically stating that to Meliodas about how, she couldn't locate it. She couldn't relocate it. And the other thing that happened in that chapter that I thought was interesting was the whole Power of Love thing. And apparently, Gila, Gira, she's got something going on with Galther. Oh, it was crazy. He's like waving. I'm like, I'm done. And Jen Jericho's there, and she obviously is frustrated with Jericho. She doesn't promise anymore. But that was hilarious. The other part of that chapter that was interesting was the whole thing with Elizabeth. Apparently, the whole Power of Love thing takes precedence, because apparently what ended up happening was Meliodas was able to bring her out of her coma. She was in a coma. She couldn't heal herself, apparently, with her druid's power. So he kissed her, and essentially that brought her back. And that was nice. That was a nice chapter to illustrate what was going on and a few details here and there. That chapter, I give a 4. However, 102 gets a 5. Because the big, mind-blown reveal at the end of that chapter had me like, whoa. And then basically the chapter title was something, it was Farewell Something. I don't know the exact title on hand. But that chapter, well, basically that chapter, we have Gil Thunder. He makes an appearance in that chapter. And he is apologizing to Hawk and all that jazz. But the main point that I want to talk about in that chapter, there were some main points also in that chapter, but I don't really want to talk about them. Most of them were just, things here and there, But the main thing I want to talk about is the reveal, the mind-blow reveal from Bon. Now, I think this still is about when Bon went into that room and he saw the cornucopia and he heard the Goddess Clan from the cornucopia. That's what this is about. This what he stated to Meliodas. And basically what he tells Meliodas says, I need you here, Bon, beer and everything, food. And he's like, I'm being very serious, Captain. I'm leaving the 7 Deadly Sins. When I heard that, I was like, what? But then I thought about it. So I didn't want to do this review right away. Because when he said that, I thought, that's why. This goes back a couple of chapters ago. This goes back way ago. This goes back to when Bon and Melados and everybody went in to rescue Elizabeth. And Bon encountered that cornucopia, like I said. And he heard the Goddess Clan. Now, I think that's why he's leaving the Sins. I think he's going on this kind of trip. I can't explain it, but I feel like he needs to sort himself out. That's what he's trying to say. He can't be with them because he still wants to bring back King's sister. That's the story. And apparently, because remember, here's the thing: when this all went down and he had that fight with Melados, you know, that was stopped. That stopped. But you got to remember something, people. I don't think that in Bond's mind, he threw that out the way. No. He basically said, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to save Elizabeth. We're going to bring back the kingdom. But when that's done, I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of, which is what he's has taken care of in this chapter. So I still believe this is him thinking. He still believes that the Goddess Clan, you know, and I think the reason why he's leaving the Sins is that if he doesn't leave the Sins, he doesn't leave the 7 Deadly Sins, he's going to end up fighting Melados. He's going to end up killing Melados. But that's just my theory. I mean, this was a mind-blowing reveal. Like, everyone's joyous, reunions, it's all over, the restoration of the kingdom, and Bond, boom, lays on this mind-blown decision. So, it's shocking to me, and I didn't see this coming. I mean, when he said it took me a while, but I figured out, okay, so I see what's going on here. So that's probably his decisions on that thing. Now, I know you can't really stock much on that because of the fact that you're listening to a voice coming out of a fucking cornucopia thing, and, like, can you really take it seriously? But I think that's what Bond is thinking. Because remember, Bond, he agreed to stop the fight he was having with Melados. But I still feel that he didn't, like, throw it out the window. Like, he didn't say, oh, yeah, okay, everything's good now. He still feels... He still wants to bring her back, King's sister. That's probably what he was thinking at that moment. So that's the whole bit. And I wonder what this is going to do, because, you know, it's a very big thing. Because remember, they had just there's only one sin left. The last one, Pride, which I believe his name is Escanor. I think his name's Escanor. He's the only one left. And I had made my proclamation of because I had got comments about this, about Hawk, that the reason why he survived was explained earlier in the series. So that thing was explained, but they were almost complete, the Sins, and now Bond is saying, I'm leaving. Foot out the door. So this is very interesting set of events. I believe this still has to do with King's sister. This still has to do with Bond trying to bring her back to life. Bring her back from the dead. Bring her back to life. So that's the reasoning behind Bond with this decision. But hey, that's just me. Bankai 922. What do you guys think? What do you think? What? Bon. My man Bon's leaving? It's still on his mind. It's still on his mind. It's still on his mind. He still wants to bring her back. That's what I believe his reasoning by this. So yeah, that's the story. Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. Like I said, later in the week, I will do, surprisingly enough, a Naruto final thoughts on the series as a whole. So you guys can look forward to that. Bon, he's leaving. Since say it ain't so, Bon. Say it ain't so. I'll see you guys later.